Our guest today has landed. I'm so excited to welcome her to the top of the tower. She's a lexicographer extraordinaire, the queen of Dictionary Corner. She's one of the world's best-loved word experts, and she's here to talk about so many other things apart from words and her own life. Susie Dent, welcome.
Hello, it's lovely to be here, finally.
Well, we kind of went around the houses to get here, didn't we? There was a Zoom call, there was an email, there was all sorts of carry-on, but we got there.
We're here.
Congratulations on your new book, Words for Life, which is out now. You have a children's book, The Roots We Share 100 Words to Bring Us Together, which came out before. I also like to talk to you about your novel, which as you probably know, I loved.
Yes, you were so lovely about that. Yes,
it's true. And funny enough, your novel was based in Oxford, and I found myself on a train going to Oxford for a day trip, reading Guilty by Definition. And isn't it something special about reading a book that pertains to a place while in that place?
And it is steeped in Oxford. I have to also say, coming here, and this has never happened to me before, there was someone reading it on the tube.
Oh, how did that feel?
It was lovely. It was packed tube, and I just had one of those moments where I just thought, should I say anything? And I thought, no.
What would you have said? I mean, what were you tempted to say?
I was tempted to say, are you enjoying it? And then that would have been it. But I had a similar experience when I think it was on the Eurostar, and a couple in front of me, I could just see through the gap in the street, were watching in the seats, watching 8-10 Cats Just Countdown.
Yes.
And I so wanted to tap them on the shoulder and say, how are you enjoying it? But I didn't. But that rarely happens. But today it was very betwittering, yeah.
It's very which?
Betwittering.
Now, you see, this is how it begins. What betwittering meaning? I could have a guess probably, but
yeah,
what
it just means sort of gives you a bit of nervous excitement.
Yeah. So Twitter in itself, we think of birds before we think of online. Is it that? Does it come from?
Absolutely right. And you know the word jargon actually goes back to the twittering of birds. That's what it meant, because birds understand each other perfectly, and it's the rest of us that don't understand it. So that was where it comes from.
So we're for the birds because we don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of jargon when it's used well. When it's not used well, then, as we know, it can be deeply annoying.
So when you hear a word misplaced or jargon not used correctly, do you twitch and flinch? And do you find yourself kind of going, I need to get in here?
No, because that's its etymology. It has changed since then, and as we know, every single word is on a journey, to use that cliche. That's a bit of jargon, and it's evolving all the time. So no, I'm not one to say that's incorrect.
And your new book it's beautifully themed in the sense that you can go, okay, well, I want a winter vibe here, or I want to it's not something else. Tell us a bit about it. Give us the pitch, and then we'll talk about some of the great words. The
pitch. Well, it is a word for every day of the year, and I have realised over the last few years that English is amazingly seasonal, probably every language is, but there's just such a pull, the kind of, the burgeoning of spring with words like erumpant, which means bursting into blossom, which I absolutely love. And then in winter now you have your hibernacle, which is where hibernating animals go to hang out until spring comes.
You went to a Catholic school. I come from a very Catholic country, and the word we associate with the church is the tabernacle.
Tabernacle. So hibernacle comes from the hibernaculum in Latin, and that was it. So basically it's just sort of secret place. And in this case it's just somewhere where you go to hide out. Or another one, I think it's in here, which is letibulate. Sounds a little bit wrong.
Tell me everything. I don't think I want to do that.
You do. Do I? You do if you're having a bad day, because to letibulate, it's got one record in the dictionary, and it means to hide oneself in a corner.
Oh, we all have those moments.
We certainly
where you just go, stop the world.
Yes, give me a corner.
You're in that zone at the moment, are you? You've had an extraordinarily busy year.
I have had a busy year, and I will be finding my latibule quite soon. I think
you will need to
hang out for a bit.
No question about it. Because your tour, your word perfect tour dates are out the door in March, April, May.
So doing some more next spring. I've got one more this year. I was in Bury St Edmunds last night, which was lovely. It's just a joy, Ryan, because I get to see people who already hooked on words, and so I feel like I don't have to win them over because they're already on side.
They're flocking.
We just have fun. Well, they're just there to learn and hopefully have a bit of a laugh.
What is the format of the stage show?
So it's just me. But I do have some very silly videos. I've collected all my favourite typos. I talk about some of my favourite word stories.
Okay.
I also have a word surgery section, which I absolutely love. So where I take questions from the audience. And I had one yesterday from someone called Gary. Hi Gary, if you're listening. And he said, I have a friend who is consistently misplacing the apostrophe. Should I cut him off?
Oh, it's a great question.
It's
And
a
what was
good
your
question.
surgical
Well,
advice?
I asked the audience and they said absolutely.
Cut them
And I
off, but
thought,
that's because your
"That's
audience is full
mean.
of people like you
That's
and me.
mean."
Yeah. Or you and I.
Hang on. So you and me if it's the object, you and I if it's the subject.
Thank you very much.
People are consistent.
So was Gary found his people. He found his tribe last
He
night.
found his people, but I think also we are all up for language change because, you know, if it doesn't change, and it will die, essentially. Yeah. So I don't think it's full of real sticklers who think this is it. And in an 18th century grammar, it says do not split an infinitive, and therefore I will not. I don't think it's full of people like that.
They're enlightened. They're enlightened
I think
people.
So.
Do you know when because I'm a huge follower of politics and I'm watching, and every now and again for about 6 months a phrase or word becomes de rigueur, and they all keep using it constantly. The one I heard recently was, will there be an off ramp for this topic? And do you find yourself hearing expressions going, okay, this has become trendy now?
Yes, I think the one that has probably hopefully had its moments on its way out is a deep dive.
Yes,
deep dive is just everywhere, or was everywhere, but hopefully ebbing away. But
No-brainer.
That is like jargon, isn't it?
No-brainer is a regular one that might make shit. There must be better ways
around it. Does it make you twitch? You did a twitch there.
Journey does.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not a fan of journey.
No.
I've
it's
always...
so annoying though, because it's such a useful word, and it's got a lovely etymology, which is from the French journée, meaning a day, because all journeys really took a day because the horses were tired, etc. And it's got a really nice sort of story around it, but it has been overused. But honestly, words do go on journeys. That's the whole point of the historical dictionary. We'll trace every single footprint until the present day.
I was struck by rigmarole in your book. Yeah, rigmarole.
Yes.
Would you mind sharing this?
No, so a rigmarole originally began as a ragman's roll, and this was a charter that was signed by many people, a charter in law, and because it was so complicated and so long and convoluted, ragman's roll became rigmarole. That's very often how words evolve, is that they just get a little bit mangled along the way.
Yes, and the mangling.
The mangling is really fun. You just have to sort of unpick it.
Okay, well we'll unpick more. If people want to get involved, by all means do. +44 333 00 333 00. I'm chatting with our guest today, Susie Dent. Her book called Words for Life. If you like this program and if you like what we talk about a lot, you will love this book. And if I saw this book at the end of my bed on Christmas morning, I would be the happiest boy in the class. I can tell you that much. True story. Let's get back to business now with Words for Life. What else did I love? Oh, Keena's mustard. Can you please give us a
Keena's mustard, yes. So a lot of people think this goes back to the manufacturers of mustard called Keen's, who I think were eventually taken over by Coleman's mustard, and that would be a perfect fit. But that's a bit of an urban myth, because mustard was used for something incredibly hot and zesty. So when we cut the mustard, obviously not literally cutting it, but the idea is that you're like you're cutting a fine figure, you are doing something really sort of special and zingy and full of zest. And so what was it? Keena's mustard, exactly the same. You are really hot on the trail.
Okay, that's good.
So mustard was American slang for something.
Great.
Excellent.
Okay,
yes.
That's really important.
Lollapalooza, as they used to say.
Lollapalooza. Isn't there a festival called Lollapalooza?
Oh, there may well be.
That's another word of like.
Another word meaning excellent.
Excellent.
There's so many. Yeah, and actually, teen slang has lots too, don't they? Because things are really good or things that are really bad. Are things that attract us. I think.
Well, I love a lot of fizzbang.
Fizzbangs. That's
didn't they used to call villages
Humdinger?
Humdinger. I love
That's
Humdinger. Yeah. I love a word like bonkers as well.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that goes back to our bonds.
Oh,
I think it's the idea. Our head.
The head. I love that. Okay. And I see you sometimes on Celebrity Gogglebox.
I think Countdown is. Oh, and I did do one stint with Giles.
With Giles Brandreth, who was here with us recently.
And do you know what I realised in the course of that run is that I actually quite like watching telly in peace, in quiet.
Oh, I see.
In the quiet. So it was actually quite an effort to have to talk all the way through. I was like, no, I actually want to watch this.
You were back in your quiet place.
I was back litibulating, but Giles made up for both of us, obviously.
I have no doubt. Now, it made great sense eventually when your book came out in August 2024, Guilty by Definition. Is there have you a blurb that you can give us off the top of your head quickly on that?
Well, it's set in Oxford. I stay close to home because this was my first foray into fiction, and it's set in a dictionary department. Martha is the senior editor, whose sister went missing about a decade before, and essentially they start to receive some rather curious letters which become slightly menacing, and they hold within them some cryptic clues, which the team of lexicographers try to unravel.
Well, it was one of my books of the year that year, because
thank you.
I loved it. It brought everything that I love in the world together. Your take on etymology and everything goes with it, and then and a great thriller as well. And it's doing great, and people are reading it on the trains, as you know,
Well, yes,
from
that's
first
the first
hand.
time it's happened to me, but that was a joy to see.
No, it's great, and you've a second one that you're working on at the moment.
Yes,
So I'm really excited
second
about
one,
it.
Death Writ Large, that comes out next year, and that involves quite a bit of graffiti.
Graffiti, which is in
Graffiti,
itself
yeah.
an interesting word.
It really is.
An Italian word or something?
Yeah, it comes from the Italian to scratch, because these were obviously inscriptions on cave walls, etc.
Oh, it gets better and better. Yvonne says, can you ask Susie about 5th and 6th becoming 5th and 6th? Oh, I'm so happy this question is coming. Is it the fault of 50 Cent? 50 Cent, it drives me banana. So if I'm listening to The Rest is Politics or whatever,
Yes.
definitely the posher presenters say 5th instead of 5th. So they say the 6th of September. I would say the 6th or the 5th,
Yes.
but they say the 5th and the 6th.
Sis, that's really
Letters
interesting.
go missing.
So this is a process called haplology, where we swallow a syllable, and it's happened for a long time in words like probably. We say probably.
Probably do.
Or February, we say
yeah.
February.
Yeah.
Or secretary, we say secretary. And it's because of ease of pronunciation. So it's always been happening, if there's any reassurance in that, but I absolutely understand that it becomes a bit of a bugbear.
And the word is the swallowing of the...
Haplology.
I could be here all day talking to you. I just love the I'm like Indiana Jones finding these diamonds in the mine here. Sandy says, my mother's pet hate, which has been one of mine now, when people say try and instead of try to. Oh, here we go. She's nodding. You cannot attempt and only attempt to. Don't get me started. Is she?
Yes, that's colloquial. I think if I looked it up in the Oxford English Dictionary, we've probably been doing it for a while. But yes, strictly speaking, try to, and then the infinitive verb.
Okay.
But another example of how usage switches, particularly because we're speaking with our fingers now. We're just sort of tapping away on our screens,
abbreviating all the time.
Abbreviating, yeah, and inevitably, technology is having an impact. But it's not all bad. There are some good things about technology. For example, lexicographers are now capturing dialect in a way that we couldn't before, local language, because people are putting it on screens and in print, and we rely on printed evidence. So we can begin to capture regional language in a way that we couldn't before.
Okay, well, that is a plus. Sarita is on. She says, loving Susie. She has such an amazing brain. Wouldn't it be fab for her and Tom Reed Wilson to do some sort of show? Can't wait for her book. It's on my list. Have a great day.
Oh, Tom is a friend.
Feel about that? Is he?
Yeah, he sometimes comes in Dictionary Corner, and honestly, we do wax lyrical about words whenever we can, and he leaves me the most amazing voice messages in that gorgeous silky voice and tells me about his recent word discovery. So yes, we're on the case, and I'd love a show with Tom.
You're a busy woman. For anyone who isn't watching the clip, they won't see your beautiful jumper. It looks, on the strength of it, it looks like an ordinary grey round neck jumper, but actually it's got this stitching with the words rock and roll near the neck, and then on the sleeve you have it says it's now or never. I was thinking of Elvis there. It's a lovely old jumper.
Thank you.
I have to say,
I do have a thing for jumpers, especially because they're quite fubsy and sort of. I think language is quite like a jumper sometimes. You just sort of shrug it on and it makes you feel.
It does,
cozy.
and you might have a selection of them and just go, today I'm feeling that one.
Exactly.
And that's it. And this is, you're wearing your.
And I have a lovely one from the same people who they've made this sort of skull that's made of flowers. It's just really.
And who are they?
lovely.
Remind me who makes them.
Are we allowed to say?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, Zadig and Voltaire.
Yeah, great. Because I want to look them up because I just love what you're wearing. It's just fab.
Thank you.
Okay, Susie Dent, Words for Life. That's out there. That comes with the highest recommendation. If you're a wordsmith or you're just somebody who loves etymology or you're just interested in that side of the world, get that. If you haven't already, be sure to pick up Guilty by Definition as well. In fact, that's a twofer. That would be make a lot of people very happy this Christmas, so go for it. What a pleasure to see you.
You're lovely, thank you.
Good luck with everything.
I too could have spoken all morning. But
we'll do it again, I hope.
Yes.
See you soon. Susie Dent.
Happy list jubilating, everyone.